Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Justin Block. I'm an entrepreneur, I'm an investor, and I recently was a part of my family's business, which we just sold for the second time earlier this year. And in today's video, I wanted to talk about something that I think is really important, and that's self-belief. And what actually inspired this video is I was scrolling Ed Milet's Instagram last night, and Ed's a good friend of mine now. He's actually my coach, and I've been very fortunate to get to know him. And sometimes I'll just scroll people's Instagram just to get inspired, right? And last night happened to be him. And I came across this post that he made a few years ago, which said, "Loving someone is wonderful, but believing in them is even more rare." And that really hit me because I just recently in my own life, like I've experienced some of that. I've experienced some of that a lot of my life, and self-belief is something that I've struggled with most of my life. It's something that I still have challenges with day to day now, but I'm a lot more equipped to handle it. So, speaking from experience here, and with Ed's post, I was like, dang, I would have actually preferred probably people to love me less and believe in me more because I think it's so powerful, and that really resonated with me, right? And since I've struggled with this a lot, and I've done that work on myself, I hear people speak things. Whether I'm talking to an entrepreneur, I might be looking to invest in their company. Whether I'm talking to a friend, whether I'm meeting a stranger, I'm able to hear these patterns now because I'm just so aware of it for myself. But we say things that like self-deprecate, and we say things that just sell ourselves short. And how we say things is how we think things, and how we think things is usually what we believe, right? So if you're speaking language that is not self-serving, you probably don't have a belief that is self-serving. You probably don't believe in yourself as much as you could. And again, so I just want to talk about three things that I think can help build self-belief. And again, self-belief is something that I think is it's an everyday thing. It's a full-time job. Like you have to sell yourself on yourself every day. You don't just wake up and, feel amazing. Like it's work. And so as you continue to do the work, it'll get easier and easier. But it really is a full-time job, especially at the beginning. So I just wanted to talk about three things that I think you can do to help build your self-belief. Whether you don't believe in yourself much, whether you believe in yourself a little bit, whether you do believe in yourself and you want to get more self-belief, which I don't think can hurt you unless you become too egotistical and arrogant. Then you might need to dial it back a little bit, not be too delusional. But let's get into it. So number one is it's simply keep the promises you make to yourself, right? So whether you're going to work out that day, whether you need to make 5 sales calls that day, whether you need to wake up at a certain time, it's just do the things that you tell yourself to do, right? And it sounds simple, but it's a lot harder than it is because, again, we've all been there. We all say, oh, I'm going to do this, and you don't end up going to work out, right? You say, I'm going to make the sales calls, and you don't end up doing it because of whatever reason, right? But for the sales example, say you make the 5 phone calls, but you don't get any sales. When your head hits the pillow that night, like, hey, I did what I told myself I was going to do. Versus you make 2 sales calls. You might have gotten 1, but you still know, like, deep down, hey, I didn't make the 5 that I should have. And so it's just little things like that, whether it's I'm going to go for a walk, I'm going to eat a little healthier, I'm going to call my friend, I'm going to go do that workout, right? It's these little things that we tell ourselves that, we break these little promises all the time, and no wonder why we don't believe in ourselves, because how can we even trust ourselves if we're not going to keep these little promises to ourselves, right? So number one is simply keep the promises you make to yourself. Number 2 is all about your physiology, because your physiology really honestly controls your psychology in many ways, and I learned this from Tony Robbins. So when you're like not feeling that great and you're slouched and you're breathing heavy and you don't feel like doing anything, you're probably not going to do anything, right? Because you don't feel like it. Versus you feel better and you're more likely to get shit done just straight up. So if you're about to go into a sales meeting, if you're about to go ask out the girl, if you're about to go work out, something you don't feel like doing, right? If you can give yourself a little move, if you can do some jumping jacks, if you can do some deep breathing exercises, if you can calm yourself down and get out of your head and get more into your body, you're more likely to do what you set out to do, right? Because when you're in a better mood, you make better decisions, and better decisions usually lead to a better life. But that also helps create that self-belief, right? Because again, when you don't believe in yourself, you don't really feel like doing it. But you might hop on this sales call that you're really nervous about, and you might do some jumping jacks and maybe do some burpees beforehand, whatever you got to do, right? I'm just saying stuff that has worked for me. And then again, your heart's a little more elevated, but you're out of your head more, you're into your body, you're able to calm down a little bit, and you're a little more fired up for it, right? You're a little more excited for it. So moving your body really helps. Like if you want to use this experiment in your day-to-day life, like go for a walking meeting versus a meeting just like sitting down with someone face to face. The walking meeting is going to be a way more productive meeting because motion creates emotion. And usually those emotions are positive and they lead to better things. So again, move your body, And Tony Robbins again says, he says, change your state, change your life. So whether that's a little move, whether that's a walk, whatever you got to do to, increase your state a little bit better, that's going to really make a big difference for you. And number 3 here, this is probably the most important thing, at least that's worked for me the most. And it's not even something that I really did intentionally. It's something that I found out through like not believing in myself and not surrounding myself with the right people. But number 3 is borrowing belief. And what I mean by borrowing belief is find someone who believes in you more than you believe in yourself, right? Like going back to Ed's post, I think it's pretty easy to say we all love people, but how often are we actually, sharing our belief in people? How often are we telling people, I believe in you? It really is more rare in my opinion. And I know from my own experience, it is true to me. So I try to be that for other people. But looking back on my life when I didn't believe in myself, like I sort of believe we all have this fire within us. And, some might be, a big roaring flame. Some might be dwindled down because we don't have that self-belief, right? And I found people who, believed in me more than I believed in myself. And that was just a little fire starter that helped kick up that flame again. And so once you can use that as that catalyst, that, that momentum to get started, use that and you start seeing that within yourself. You're like, oh, like they see this in me, like maybe there is something there. And you go on that sales call, you go do that workout, you go do whatever you got to do, right? And you start to see it for yourself. That is like the best way I think to get started. And I think we all need this at some point in our lives. Again, I have multiple times. Shit, I still want it today. It feels good to like have someone that's very successful and someone you want to be like, say like, hey, I see this in you. You can do this, right? Versus I just love you. And so I know for me, I'm constantly trying to surround myself with people who believe in me, and I'm trying to be that for other people as well. So I think you can get that from a lot of places. You can get that from a book. You can get that from a podcast. You can get that from people on social media. I mean, I'm hoping you get this from this video right now. But be intentional about that, man. Like if you can surround yourself with people who believe in you more than you believe in yourself, I think it really will change your life. And so again, these are just 3 things that I think you can do to increase that self-belief within yourself. Again, it's keep the promises you make to yourself, change your physiology. So do a little move to change your state, whether that's a walk, some burpees, jumping jacks, whatever that is. And then borrow belief from others. Find people who believe in you more than you believe in yourself. And again, I think these things will change your life. And as you build that self-belief, you'll be able to be that person for other people, which I think is, again, one of the best things and greatest things you can do for people. But then for yourself, I think you'll create a better life for yourself because you'll have more fun. You'll believe in yourself more. You'll try more things because you do have that self-belief. You're not worried about what other people might think or what other people might say or if you fail or not, because once you have that self-belief, you also realize like there's not really a thing, like failure doesn't really exist. It's just about learning. And so you're more excited to do more things. And so again, those 3 things help me. And so I hope they help you. And if you got anything out of this video, I hope to see you guys in the next one. Peace.